Hi and welcome everyone to another video on this channel. My name is Denis and today I'm gonna show you two free drafts for Gaming 34, and as usual, if you enjoy this type of content, please consider giving a like, hit that subscribe button, but now let's get into it. Okay, so let's jump right into it. As you can see from the screen, this is my first free draft for Gaming 34. Now I prepared two free drafts for this gaming. The first one is a little bit more closer to what I think is gonna be my final version for my team, because as you may know, I'm currently using the chip in Gaming 34, so this is how my actual team is looking at the moment. You can go a lot of ways with the free. There are a lot of players you can pick. Now obviously everyone is gonna want to target those three fixtures, those three teams who are relegated already, obviously Southampton, Leicester, and Ipswich. So, what we want to do with our feed is to have a lot of players from Wolverhampton, Newcastle, and Fulham in particular. And after that, obviously, you will need to choose some core players if you want. Some players like Mohamed Salah, Isak, who have great fixtures, but obviously the ownership is also high. So yeah, you have a lot of options, and we'll discuss a little bit more about all the players you can buy for this gaming also in the upcoming videos this week. But let's start with my free draft. My goalkeeper probably is gonna be Leno. Now the fixture is great against Southampton away. I know Southampton scored also against West Ham in the last minute, so it's not a guarantee that Southampton are not gonna try to score, obviously, even if they are relegated, because it matters, obviously, if they're gonna win, draw, or lose, even if they are relegated. Now, what I like about Leno, Fulham in particular didn't really defend as good as before in the present, so yeah, I'm not expecting 100% a clean sheet. What I like about Leno is that he makes a lot of saves, and obviously that there's the chance of a clean sheet. So you have other goalkeepers. You have Sanchez from Chelsea. You have Sels, as you can see from the bench, from Nottingham Forest. You could even go for Alisson, but yeah, I just think that Leno for my team is the pick I want to go. Now, as you can see, I'm doubling up on Fulham defense at the moment with Robinson against Southampton away. Now, on my bench, as you can see, I have another pick, maybe a spicier one, and with more upside, Sessegnon. As you may know, he's playing as a winger for Fulham and he's listed as a defender in FPL. But the thing is, Harry Wilson is back for Fulham, and with Sessegnon, you're always gonna have that risk if he's gonna start or not, because Tete is also back for Fulham as a right back. So you're not gonna be sure if he's gonna start. Now, in the last game weeks, he scored a lot of goals. His minutes weren't constant at some point. So yeah, I think that there's the risk, but obviously I could have someone like Sessegnon instead of Robinson. Although at the moment I think that the safe option is Robinson. Honestly, we know that he has a lot of assists this season. He has attacking threat, and yeah, we can expect a clean sheet from Fulham. So why not? Now my other defenders are Trippier and Ainuri. Again, you could go for someone like Jose Sa, although he missed the last game against Manchester United. It doesn't really matter. You could go for the second goalkeeper from Wolverhampton. We need to see what the coach is gonna say at the press conference, if Jose Sa is gonna be out long term or not. But you get my point. You could go for someone like for the goalkeeper uh, from Wolverhampton if you want, but I just think that I would like to target Ainuri. Obviously, he's the most attacking defender from Wolverhampton. He also himself scored some goals and some assists in the last game mix, and I just think that he's the best pick defensive wise from Wolverhampton. So Ainuri probably is gonna be 90% in my free team. Now, my last defender is Trippier from Newcastle. As I said before, I don't think that money is gonna be an issue for me, at least. So why not just go for the most expensive defender from Newcastle? Now, obviously, Trippier has himself a little bit of attacking threat. He's on set pieces. We know him for a lot of time. Now, there are other defenders from Newcastle if you want, Livramento, Burn. share, but I just think that on a free, obviously you want to go a little bit different to try to go with the players you're not having in my team. So I have Livramento in my own team, and yeah, it would be a little bit weird to have him also on my free. Now I'm not saying that Livramento is a bad pick on a free because he's a really good pick, but I just if I was to go for a Newcastle defender, just one, I would go for Trippier probably. But all these things depends on what's gonna happen in the last game weeks of Double Gaming 33 and what news may come out in the press conference. So yeah, maybe this draft is gonna change a little bit. But on defense, I'm pretty much set up. Uh, Here you could go for defenders from Chelsea if you want. Someone like Cucurella, I think that he could be the best option now. Again, Reece James, if you want to go for the vibes, I just don't think that Reece James is the same player as he was before when he was scoring a lot of goals and uh, putting in a lot of crosses. Now, yeah, I would go for Cucurella if I was to go to a Chelsea defender. You could go for players from Nottingham Forest, Milenkovic, Nico Williams. So there are a lot of players you're gonna see in my second draft. You could even go for a Liverpool defender, so that's also a nice strategy. Now, if we go in midfield, I think that this is the hardest part of picking up Freed. Now, the player who's gonna be 100% in my free is gonna be Mohamed Salah. So I know I said before, on a free you should go a little bit different, try to catch some rank, have different players from your own team. But Mohamed Salah, I just think that you don't need to lose him. I couldn't lose him, honestly. Now the fixture against Spurs is great. We know that Manchester United and Spurs are gonna rotate maybe a little bit because they are gonna play in the semifinals of the Europa League, so they really don't have anything left to play in the Premier League. So yeah, the fixture against Spurs is great. Liverpool are playing at home. If they are gonna win the game, they are gonna win the Premier League. So I just think that Mohamed Salah at home, he didn't scored in the last game weeks, so I just think that at some point he's gonna score. I think that this is the right time. I think that Liverpool could play a lot better. I know that they weren't great in the last game weeks. Obviously, they had a lot of chances against Leicester, but they didn't really score them. But yeah, I just think that the fixture is great. So Mohamed Salah is gonna be in my team. Now Palmer may be another controversial pick. I had him in the last game weeks. He was really frustrating. He got just an assist in the last 3 or 4 game weeks. So I understand if you don't want to go for him, honestly. But again, he plays at home. He is a really expensive player. I Obviously you could go for someone like Clivert if you want, but I just think that if you have this money to use, I just feel like you need to buy someone like Palmer. Now I'm not saying you're forced to do that. If you think that he's gonna blank just like in the last game weeks, then yeah, but at the end of the day, Palmer is a great player. We know what he can do. He's on penalties for Chelsea, he's on set pieces, and in one game week in particular, he could be great, I think. So that's he is in my team, and probably he will remain in my team. Um, Now, after that, the things complicate a little bit. Obviously, let's start with Mbeumo. Yeah, I know he scored 2 goals and 1 assist in the last gaming, but he's not in my free draft just because of that. He's mostly here because he's on penalties. He's really reliable, and I just think that when you see Brentford playing, when you see that Brentford scored 1, 2, or 3 goals, you just know that Mbeumo is gonna be involved. So in that team, when you see the goals coming, you know that it's Wisa or Mbeumo pretty much this season. This is how things were this season. Now, yeah, the fixture is not something amazing against Nottingham Forest away. They are defending uh, really good. We know that they are a good defense, but yeah, Mbeumo, I think that he's a solid pick. Now, obviously, I could change my mind and maybe go a little bit different, but at the moment he's in my team. And after that, we have Barnes and Luis Diaz. With Newcastle, it's a little bit more tricky because now Gordon is back. Now, he didn't start in the last game weeks, and we know that Barnes scored a lot of points and goals in the last game weeks. He played really well, but there is that risk with Harvey Barnes that Gordon and Murphy could start and he could be on the bench, but that's the problem with all the midfielders from Newcastle, Barnes, Murphy, and Gordon. They could all be at some risk because one of them is going to be benched. So pretty much that's what we know. So even someone like Murphy is not safe. So they could just line up with Barnes on the right and Gordon on the left, or Gordon on the left and Murphy on the right. So it's a little bit risky maybe, but the fixture is just great. At the moment, I'm trying to play it with the form. I just think that Harvey Barnes played really good in the last game mix. Now, this is not hindsight. I know that he scored a lot of goals and points in gaming 33 and 32, but I don't know. I just think that he will start, but there is that risk. And if I don't want to take that risk, maybe I'm just not going to go with a Newcastle midfielder, and that's also fine. And my last pick in midfield is Luis Diaz from Liverpool. Now, this is pretty much straightforward. I just think that at the moment he's the first uh, left winger. Now I know that in the last game against Leicester he played as a number 9. So with Luis Diaz you have two options, because if Gakpo is gonna start on the left, you have the chance for Luis Diaz to start as a number 9. I just, for example, Nunez, I just don't see him starting as a number 9. Now the only risk you have is Gakpo starting on the left and Jota uh, playing as a number 9. And could Luis Diaz be benched? Yeah, obviously that could happen. But I just think that, as I said before, Liverpool really need to win this game to win the Premier League at home for their fans. I just think that they are going to play the strongest lineup, and I just think that Luis Diaz is going to start on the left or as a striker. I just think that he's a great option. And when Luis Diaz is starting, his minutes are a little bit better than someone like Jota, because, for example, Jota could be a great option on a free hit also. If you think that he's gonna start, he was benched in the last game week against Leicester. Personally, I think that Jota is gonna start as a number 9 and Luis Diaz is gonna start as a left winger against Spurs. But let's see what's gonna happen. If you wanna go safe, you could just go for players like Clivert or something like that in midfield, so you don't have the risk. In attack, it's again pretty much straightforward. Isak, the same as for Mohamed Salah. I just think that you need to go a little bit different on your feet, but Isak is not the player I want to get rid of, because maybe he's not playing amazingly at the moment like he used to in the uh, start of the season, but he's still Alexander Isak. He's still on penalties. He's playing against Ipswich at home. He's gonna start probably. Yeah, I just think that he's gonna be in my team 100%. I don't want to take that risk to get rid of him. And my last forward is Cunha. Now he was back in the team against Manchester United. He got an assist. He won the foul when from where Sarabia scored that free kick. Now obviously we know what Cunha can do. The problems with Cunha when he was banned. So he's a great player. He's on penalties. Wolverhampton didn't get a penalty this season, so it doesn't really matter if he's on penalties or not. But again, he's on set pieces. He's a great player. If he's getting an assist or a goal, he pretty much gets all the bonus points. So I just think that he's the best player, attacking player from Wolverhampton to go. But again, if you want to go for someone like Strand Larson, that's perfectly fine. He scored 3 or 4 goals in the last 3 games. He was amazing in the last game weeks. I think that he could be a decent option. He's getting a lot more chances than Cunha, but I will just go safe with Cunha. This now on my bench, as you can see, I have Sales as my goalkeeper. He could be my starting goalkeeper. That's perfectly fine. Evan Nilsson against Man United at home. There are a lot of options, and we're gonna see. Let's see the other options in my second free draft. Okay, so this is my second draft, a little bit more different than the first one. So this is maybe for those people who want to go a little bit different, who are chasing rank. So again, ignore my goalkeeper is Leno, the same as in the first one, but obviously with the goalkeepers you could go for someone like Leno, Sanchez from Chelsea, you could go for Sales, Osesa from Wolverhampton if you're fit. So just pick the goalkeeper you feel safe with. And obviously, I'm not going to talk too much about the players I talked here. I have also Anuary, Trippier, because I think that they are great players. But let's start with Newcastle. So let's say you don't want to go for any midfielders from Newcastle because you just think that there's that risk. You don't know who's going to start. So in that case, you could go for double Newcastle defense. And like I gone here, so you could play with Trippier and Livramento in your first 11 if you think that they have big chances to get a clean sheet, so that's a possibility. Now again, you could go for someone like Murphy and Barnes if you think that Gordon is gonna keep his place on the bench. That's again perfectly fine. So you could go with three players from Newcastle in attack. There are a lot of options, a lot of rotations. So yeah, but what we have different in this draft is we have Trent Alexander-Arnold. So as I said in my first draft, you could even go for a Liverpool defender. I think that the chances for a clean sheet are not so big. We saw in the last game against Leicester, they could have gotten one goal, Leicester against Liverpool, and they are relegated. So again, Spurs could totally score against Liverpool. It's not impossible, but the thing is, there's gonna be some rotation for Spurs. They really don't have anything left to play in the Premier League. They are gonna focus on the Europa League to get to the final and to win that, so they could be in the Champions League. So yeah, that's why I think that it's a great fixture for Liverpool. Now here you could go for Trent Alexander-Arnold, but here he comes with a risk. Let me just say it like that. We don't know if he's gonna start the game, and if he's gonna start, we don't know if he can play 60 minutes. But he came in against Leicester. He scored the goal. We know that. I just think that when Trent Alexander-Arnold is gonna be fit, he's gonna play for Liverpool. It doesn't really matter that he's gonna leave or not. He's gonna be in the team if he is fit. Now again, I wouldn't go for Bradley because yeah, Trent is back. I just don't think that's a risk worth taking. But with Trent, if you really want to go a little bit different, let's see what Arne Slot is gonna say in his press conference. If he's gonna be really positive about Trent Alexander-Arnold, probably I'm gonna have also him in my own team. So I think that he's just a great player. We know that the chances for a clean sheet are there, and with Trent, we know that he's really attacking. He could score goals and get some assists. So he's a really spicy pick on the free hit if you want. Um, but yeah, in midfield, again, ignore Palmer. If you don't want to go for Palmer, if you think that he's a bad pick, just pick other player. You could go for someone like Bruno Fernandes if you think that he's gonna start, because Bruno Fernandes was benched in the last gaming. He pretty much plays also all the games when he's fit. When he's fit, now obviously he was rotated maybe just for one game. I don't think that Bruno Fernandes is not gonna play again in the Premier League for Manchester United. So yeah, you could go for Bruno Fernandes, for someone like Mbeumo. You could even go for triple Liverpool attack. So as I said before, a great game for Liverpool. Really looking forward to it. I think that they are gonna attack Spurs. We know that Spurs weren't great defensively this year in particular. So you could even go, if I was to go for three players, three attacking players from Liverpool, probably I would go for Jota, Diaz, and Mohamed Salah. So pretty much this is what I think the trio in attack is gonna look like against Spurs. Now again, you don't have a guarantee with that, but you could go with that. Here we have Clivert. Now Clivert is more like a safe pick, so he's not really a differential, but again, he's playing against Manchester United. Just like Spurs, United are gonna rotate. They are gonna play some kids in the Premier League, just like Amorim said. Clivert is on penalties. That's what I like about these players who have more routes to points, because even if they have a bad game, players like Palmer, Salah, Clivert, Mbeumo, if they're gonna get a penalty, if they are gonna take a corner, they could easily get a goal and an assist and some bonus points. So yeah, Clivert, I think that he's a great pick if you want to go a little bit more safe. Now, if I was to go a little bit different, if I were chasing rank, I would go with three forwards. We have a lot of forwards really good forwards this game week. Um, let's just start. If you want to go for someone like Wisa, that's totally fine. If you want to go for someone like Wood, that's again really fine. Now Wisa is not on penalties. Maybe that would put me off a little bit, but his numbers are amazing for the season. And if you want to double up with Mbeumo and Wisa, you just know that if there are gonna be goals from Brentford, they are gonna be involved in that. Now my forward line is looking like this. So Cunha, Isak, just the same, and the striker who's spicier, I think that he's a great differential. Welbeck from Brighton. As you may know, João Pedro got a red card in the last gaming, so he's gonna be suspended. That's a really nice opportunity for anyone who wants to go a little bit different to go for Welbeck. The fixture is not the best one. It's not against Ipswich, Southampton, or Leicester, but it's against West Ham at home, which is a great fixture still. He's on penalties in the absence of João Pedro. He's gonna be the lone number 9. Brighton are playing a little bit better at the moment. I just think that, yeah, if I want to go a little bit different, if I were chasing, Welbeck would be in my team. Now, what could you do here is to go really different if you can afford to lose someone like Isak. Let's say you just think that his minutes are not good. Uh, maybe the chance for him to be rotated a little bit against Ipswich, maybe he could play just one half, 45 minutes, something like that. You could go for Cunha and Strand Larsen if you want to go totally different. That's an option too. Now Mitoma on my bench, another option in midfield if you want to. The fixture is great. Cucurella, Livramento, just like before. So with the forwards, we have a lot of options. It's not gonna be easy to uh, get those three forwards who are gonna score the most points. Maybe there are gonna be some surprises. So yeah, but these were my free drafts for Gaming 34. I'm gonna probably make other videos this week about the free because obviously I'm using my free myself. So yeah, a lot of things could change, but this was my first impression. Now, thank you so much for watching this video for so long. If you enjoyed this video and if you want to see more of this on the channel, please consider leaving a like, subscribe to this channel if you're new, and I'm gonna see you next time. Bye.